Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. If you are coming back for some more of my good conversations, I thank you so much because on this page here, we are going through the process where it's a safe space where second chances bloom and new chapters begin. And I just want to say that today is going to be a very interesting conversation. You may have had these problems as well, and now it's time to unpack it and to address it. I was talking with some of my cousins this weekend, and we were just talking about all of the things that has happened to us over the years, which caused us to maybe act a certain way. And when the conversation came back around to me, I didn't realize, but I was dealing with some trust issues, whether it been friend or foe. I had a problem trusting people with my heart because of being burnt before. You know what that's like. Maybe it was a family member that you put your trust in, and all of a sudden, no longer can you trust them because they have shared some of your information and you pulled back from kind of being around them. Or it could have been an intimate relationship where you thought that this person would be with you forever and you exchanged vows and you thought that that was a safe place for you to land, only to discover that that wasn't the case. And like myself, I realized that I do have a major issue and I'm working on it with trusting people. I get it. You're probably saying, how can you have trust issues when you are in leadership? It doesn't matter what position or title that anyone has. It has everything to do with your emotional state of being. And after years of buildup, it became like a callus in my heart. So I wanted to share this with you today because I know that I'm not by myself. You have probably experienced something similar, if not the same thing. You see, some of the trust issues come from being rejected or abandoned. And, you know, maybe some isolation because of the hurt. I know for myself, after going through the process of losing a lot of things, whether it been from becoming an empty nester, where my children are grown and I used to have a routine with them, right? Now you have to find new ways of existing in your own life. And therefore, it could cause you to feel some kind of way. I mean, you know that they have to grow up. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it's just the fact that there is changes that are taking place through relationships, right? Through friendships. Those change over time. I'm just blessed to have a few friends that I have had since I was in middle school that I still trust to this day. But outside of that circle, there have been so many different relationships that I try to keep together over the span of what almost 60 years. And you and I both know that things don't stay the same. People do change. Some people move away. Some people try to keep that connection, but yet it's still a trust factor. Because for me, once you have crossed me or shown me that I can't trust you by your actions, maybe you have betrayed my trust in some type of way, talking about me or whatever, which is a normal thing that most people do anyway. I've noticed that I can cut people off and never look back. And because I am a believer, the Lord has been dealing with me with that. And maybe God is dealing with you too. It's okay to have an opinion about how someone treated you, but our hearts, we have to give that over to God. We have to put ourselves in a position where we say, Lord, I trust you. And because I trust you, I know that I will get through this portion of time where I feel so hurt and so betrayed that I don't know what to do. I've been there more than once. And because of that, even with my own relatives that I'm forging this new friendship with, because I didn't grow up with some of my relatives that I just met, I already had a wall up. And one of them mentioned to me that they noticed that about me, even though they tried to be nice. They've offered things. They have extended the olive branch of not only friendship, but letting me know that, hey, you can trust me. No matter how many times I've heard that, I'm going to tell you, I don't trust easily. And you might be the same way. Understandably, because life has its way of, I would say, accident control. Accident control means that there's always going to be some type of accident. There's going to be an incident in the family where accidentally somebody's going to hurt you, right? Accidentally somebody's going to try to defame your name, or accidentally you're going to go through a breakup. It's just really a part of life. But it does not take away the hurt and the pain that you feel because you had to go through this. Now, I cried so much yesterday with the reality of saying, wow, I have been dealing with this issue for quite some time. And I hadn't realized how deep it was embedded in me. At the end of the day, you can't go through life holding on to all of that because you're weighted down. And I'll say for me, I've been weighted down. You see, the conversation was so heavy between my two cousins. We all shared our experiences growing up. And now we're recognizing that it has affected us in some ways of our lives. And I was the first one to break down because my mother was my confidant. My mother was everything to me. My mother kept my secrets. My mother didn't judge me. Yes, she put me in my place. She let me know about myself when I was out of pocket. However, I knew that she was always on my side irregardless. And when my mother passed away, my whole world came to an abrupt, for me, it came to an end. I didn't know what to do. It's like the whole world shifted. There was a missing piece in my life, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I remember just feeling so numb. And looking back now, I don't think that I've ever allowed myself to truly feel since then. Fast forward several years later, after 2007, when my mother passed away, then my father passes away in 2018 on the same day that my mom died, but different years. So that was more insult to injury that caused me to clam up, to close down everything, to put bars around my heart because of the feelings of what am I going to do now? The two people that I could share laughs with, cry to, tell them my frustrations, and listen to them give me advice are no longer here. And then when I try to create bonds with other people in marriages, when I'm let down, when I'm betrayed, which is one of the worst things that could possibly happen. When you're married to someone and they betray you, it's like a death. And especially when you get divorced, that's like a death as well. And all of these things were building blocks to how I show up in my life now with such a wall. I think I had some armor on from the head down. All my whole body has been, and the Lord has given me this revelation even while I'm talking to you right now about how I've actually had such a wall built up because of all of the things that I had to endure, and how keeping things inside has made me a little rough around the edges. Even as a leader, we are to love one another. But I recognize that I love people at a certain limit. I love people at a distance. I never allowed too many people inside of my circle. And maybe you're having, I would say, some challenges as well in some area. But I want you to know that God says that, we have to trust in the Lord with all of our heart and lean not to thine own understanding, and in all our ways to acknowledge him, and he shall direct our path. And that's in Proverbs Proverbs chapter 3, I believe it is, verses 5 and 6. And I wrote a few things down that I wanted to share as well. I know it's not easy, sis. I know it's not easy to forgive people, but it's a freedom that comes with forgiving in order to move forward. Understand that trying to start over, holding on to unforgiveness, it still weighs you down. You can't move forward in a healthy way because you are still holding on to things that no longer serve you in this season. While you try to rebuild, there's a little bit of a crack in your foundation because you have not healed properly. You see, I've heard so many stories of people trying to move forward in new relationships, but if they haven't truly closed the door in the past, they're dragging all of that stuff like a big old U-Haul, bringing stuff from the past to the new address. That sounds kind of crazy, but that's what we do. And so I wanted to allow myself to be vulnerable today, not just to share all the time ways that you can change, but we're changing together. We're always evolving. It doesn't matter what age that you're at. Conversations I had this weekend was with a 72-year-old woman and a 59-year-old woman. And I myself is 59. I'm 59 years old and I'll be 60 this year. And I'm just coming to terms with I still have a few bags to unpack. So what bags do you still have to unpack? Someone may have been disloyal and you're still holding on to it. I heard a message this weekend, but something stuck out in my head. And it was amazing how we have to give people grace like we want grace in our lives, which is unmerited favor, something that you don't deserve because we're imperfect people. These are the things that we got to continue to tell ourselves like, okay, someone may have wronged us, or we're dealing with rejection, we're dealing with grief and loss. It is a part of life. Does it feel good? No, it does not. But God has given us a way to handle it. You see, the Lord said in Isaiah 61 and 1 that he heals the brokenhearted. And my heart has been broken a million times because people have let me down. People have discredited my loyalty. People have shunned me or made me feel some kind of way, or I've allowed someone in my space and they showed me exactly how they really appreciated me by being disloyal to me or lying to me or cheating on me. I can go on and on and on because I know that in some area of your life, you had to deal with that. And I had to consciously admit that I have hurt some people too. Not, well, unbeknownst to me, probably I have. They may not have said anything, just like I may not have said anything to certain people. But it does not mean that I did not reciprocate the same things that was done to me. But yet, as we all are, we always can say what somebody did to us, but we don't really see or we can't feel the impact of the wounds that we may have caused someone else. Today is just a day to get free from it. Today is just a day to acknowledge that you have an issue in that area, because I know I did, and I'm still working through the process. I'm acknowledging that trusting someone, and how does it look when you know that you're not trusting? You're standoffish. You may tell yourself, I only need a few friends. And I get that to a certain point, because friendships, you have levels to friendships. Even Jesus had his circle of friends. But at the same time, he ministered to multitudes of people. He showed love and kindness to everyone. Even when they were persecuting him, he said what he said because he knew his purpose. And I don't want you to be stuck any longer. I want you to face the giants that are still present in your life right now. Like I had to face the giants by admitting that I still dealt with trust issues. I am still unpacking those areas after 11 years of a transition in my life. So if I'm going through that, I wonder if you're dealing with that. You don't have to go it alone. It's okay to admit it. Even though you can admit it, now what are you going to do? What is the process? Okay, so you're telling me all of this. What should I do? Acknowledgement is the first thing. And every day you should journal your emotions, your feelings about the situations. Let your journal be your confidant. Let that be your private therapist on the side. And every day ask God to heal you in that area so that you can be open for the new possibilities that will show up in your life. I'm going to tell you a real hard truth about my weekend. I was so standoffish with my own family that when I was invited to this event, at first I wasn't going to go. They hadn't done anything to me. It was just, I'm so used to being in my circle. I'm a very outgoing person, but I'm also an introverted person, if that makes sense. I'm introverted in a way that I enjoy my own company. I like taking trips. I like doing a lot of things, but I can do them by myself and be just as fine. And when I'm around people, I have a good time. I'm like the life of the party. But then there are times when I can be standoffish, even within the crowd. Some of y'all are like that too. I can feel it. And if you are, make sure you drop a comment to let me know, how are you dealing with your transition of starting over, rebuilding your life, block by block, brick by brick. How are you managing the changes? And let me finish telling you about the hesitancy. I hesitated to go and spend time with my relatives because I just, in a way, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. But what came out of me pressing my way to attend just fellowshipping with my family was the conversation that we had that was so deep that led me to do this recording today, to allow you to know that, yeah, my assignment is to always share about starting over, rebuilding your life, because it's always a journey. It is always evolving day by day. The seasons change, people change, places. I mean, everything changes. That will never be something that we can exhaust. But if you don't change, it doesn't matter where you travel to. It doesn't matter if you relocate. If you still take that same mentality with you, you're not truly changing with your change, if that makes sense. You're not stepping in to that new place with the old mentality. It is about your mindset has to shift. but we have to deal with the heart issue. You may have been betrayed by somebody in your family, okay? People have siblings and they have little challenges here and there. And that's another story for another day. I had those issues with my brother who literally could not stand me, did not like me from the day I was born. But that's another story. I had to forgive him. And I want you to know that everything can change in your life. But if your mindset does not change, it was all for naught. You are just taking a walk, or you just change locations, but you have not taken out all of the baggage. You haven't taken out the trash and put it in there for the garbage man to take away. So I wanted to encourage you on today to be encouraged, knowing that you're not by yourself. If you have trust issues and you know it, make sure that you allow your heart to heal as you go on this new journey of starting over and rebuilding the new life at any age. It's able to be done. It's a good thing. It's a good feeling. It's a good vibe, knowing that your life does not have to stay the same. But reality is you have to deal with the bags that you don't really want to unpack. All right. I wanted to share that with you today. And if you have liked anything that I said today, please subscribe to my channel, like and share, and leave me a comment. Where you from? And let me know, hey, if you got any trust issues like I had, I want to know about it. All right. Stay tuned for the next video. I see ya.